Hey everybody, this is Fran Fraschella, draft expert and basketball junkie. To everybody who's watching, let's get our friends at General Manager Games the subscribers they deserve. Just press that red subscriber button and immerse yourself in sports AI through GM Games content. And on Twitter, it's GM_games. Let's get after it. Let's go.
Hello everyone, welcome back to GM Games. It's Coach Fury here today, and we're back with our Let's Play series of the Phoenix Suns, the Rising Suns. We ended last episode with a end of the regular season where we managed to beat the Suns' record in real life in the NBA in 2004-2005 of 62 wins. We managed to eke out 64 wins, which is incredible. And we have, obviously because of that, we have secured the first seed in the Western Conference for the playoffs, where we are up against the Portland Trailblazers. And we'll have a little look against the Trailblazers and just see how they've done this season and what we got matched up for this episode. Because obviously we're going to be in the playoffs this episode and seeing how we get on, seeing if we can get ourselves to the championship finals and win. But before we do that, I thought it'd be useful just to bring this screen up, just to have a little look in terms of how the other seeds look. So, obviously on the Western Conference side, the two-seeded Warriors have got the seventh-seeded Timberwolves. So the Warriors led by Baron Davis, Timberwolves led pretty much by Kevin Garnett at this stage. They had a pretty poor start to the season, Timberwolves, but they managed to win 42 games and get themselves into the playoffs. You'll notice there's some teams that are quite noticeable absences really from the Western Conference of this era, which is the Sacramento Kings with Chris Webber and Mike Bibby, the San Antonio Spurs with Parker, Ginobili, Duncan. They're not in the playoffs. Then you've got the Houston Rockets, Tracy McGrady and Yao Ming duo. They also had a terrible season, didn't make the playoffs. So it means that there's some interesting teams in this Western Conference this year. You've got the likes of the Jazz, the Clippers, the Nuggets and the Mavericks. The Nuggets obviously led by Carmelo, Mavericks by Dirk Nowitzki. But this Clippers Jazz game is the interesting one. Some interesting teams that you wouldn't have expected probably to make the playoffs are in there. So the Western Conference is a real mixed bag. We're obviously going to play the winners of the Mavericks and the Nuggets. That's going to be a tough match-up for us really. But we've obviously got to get past round one first. That's the main focus for this episode. On the Eastern Conference side, no surprises that the Miami Heat with Shaquille O'Neal and Dwayne Wade are the number one seed. Up against the Bucks, which I think has got. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not sure actually who the Bucks have got. Let's double check that. I want to say they've got Ray Allen still at this stage, but I don't know if they have. No, they haven't. So this is the Michael Reed team really. Mo Williams is in there, Mike James. So a couple of no real standout players for them, but they obviously made it in there. You got the LeBron James Cavaliers, the Brooklyn Nets of or the New Jersey Nets of this era, but Brooklyn Nets in real life now. I've got Vince Carter and I think Jason Kidd at this point. 76ers obviously led by Allen Iverson, and the Wizards again have got Gilbert Arenas. So a real point guard battle there for that one. And in the Pistons, the famous Pistons, the grit and grind defensive Pistons with Ben Wallace and Rasheed Wallace and Chauncey Billups, and so against the Pacers. So that's a pretty traditional playoff matchup. The Reggie Miller Pacers against and Jermaine O'Neal Pacers against the Pistons team. Obviously, that was not going to end up in a punch up, but it's quite interesting to see those two against each other in the seed. Probably the other way around from what they would have been in real life. The Pistons probably would have been like a 1 or 2 seed of this era. And the Pacers were always in there around about a 6th, 7th, 8th seed. So that's going to be fun to watch and see how that one goes. But for us, our main focus today really is trying to get through round one against the Portland Trailblazers. And let's have a little look. So the Trailblazers finished the season 14-42. They obviously had a losing record, but still made the playoffs because of how bad the other teams in the Western Conference did. And they've got some interesting players. They've got a young Zach Randolph, who's had a pretty good season. He's your traditional sort of inside power forward. He can't really shoot anywhere else, despite it looks like him being asked to shoot an astronomical amount of threes in whatever system they're running. And then Damon Stoudemire, aging vet at this stage, but still a pretty good point guard, has been driving them forward. And then there's some other noticeable guys. I mean, Darius Miles is in there. You know, a traditional NBA rotation player, really. Sharif Abdur-Rahim is still around as well. Probably, you know, similar sort of player, I guess, to Marion at this stage. He's sort of an all-round. He sort of does a bit of everything. Not really great at anything, to be honest with you. So it's a team that doesn't really have any star, but it obviously must do okay as a collective to get to 40 and 42 really, and get into the playoffs. So for us, it obviously is a bit of a David versus Goliath matchup. It always is when it's the first seed against the 8th seed. For us, we've got no real injury problems apart from Paul Shirley, who will be back in a day anyway. So I'm not going to change the rotation, I think, for the first game or the strategy. Obviously, we know we've got to stay with a 7-second offense. We know that's the way. The man-to-man has been working okay, so we're going to kind of leave that as is. I'm not going to do any sort of micromanaging of players at this stage. I don't necessarily want to do that in the first game. I want to see how we do first. And we're going to keep Meta World Peace off the bench, I think, for now, with Taboose providing the support. Barbosa's not getting any minutes at this stage. I think he's kind of lost his minutes to Meta World Peace and Taboose at this stage. But he'll sit on the bench. And we'll see how we get on. As usual, when I play any of the playoff games, we'll sim the first couple of games. When we get to deciding games, we'll obviously sit and watch through them. So first of all, we're not up to begin with. We've got the Eastern Conference to go first. We will just give it a quick save here at this point, just to make sure there's no crashes or anything. But so the Eastern Conference is up first. Let's have a little look and see how that's gone. So the Pacers have taken game 1, Heat have taken game 1, and Nets. So no real upsets there so far. As we go into our matchups, they're obviously playing back-to-back for some reason, and then we're starting. Let's see if we can get game 1 under our belts and get the win. And we do. I saw the pop-up there. We've managed to get a nice convincing win, really. Sean Marion having a great game. 33 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 blocks. Sorry, 4 assists, 4 steals, 5 blocks. That's pretty much a Sean Marion performance, to be honest with you. That's what he's always been known for, is doing a bit of everything. It looks like our shooting from downtown was in good place. Nash fouling out, actually, interestingly, more or less sort of an injury problem. Only 4. He may be had some foul issues. Hoping he's not injured. No, he's not injured. So we take game 1. Let's see if we can take game 2. And we do take game 2. So we obviously hold the home court against the Trailblazers. Meta World Peace with 38 points. My goodness. Not bad at all. Pretty good performance all round, really. Looks like Nash had a much better game. 25 points, 14 assists. Not bad, if I do say so myself. Stoudemire struggling. He's not taking many shots, but I guess in this system we don't really need him to take that many shots at centre. Not too bad. We'll take that. We'll take 2 wins on the bounce. We'll get through the Eastern Conference games here, and we go to game 3 against the Trailblazers. Not changing anything. There's no point. We're still winning. We take a 3-point loss there on the road. Oof. That's a painful one to take. It looks like we lost it in the 4th quarter, then putting up 31. It's been a struggle there. Zach Randolph turned up with 34 points. Okay. Turnover battle, we kind of 19 turnovers is quite a lot as well. Steve Nash doing okay. Stoudemire had to take a bit more of the scoring load in this game. But we lose the first one on the road. Can we win the second one on the road? And we do. We managed to win it in quite convincing fashion there. We take a 16-point win on the road, with Meta World Peace being the driving force for us from six man. If he doesn't win 6 man of the year, guys, I don't know what this game is doing. The guy's averaging 26 points from the bench for us. Not bad. The actual starting lineup didn't do too great. Taboose came in and again put up a pretty strong scoring performance for us. We managed to limit Zach Randolph. That's the main thing. If Marion and whoever's supporting Marion, it looks like maybe World Peace can stop Randolph. That will be enough for us to get this through. But we are 3-1 up now, so next game we will go in and watch, see if we can just get that one over and done with. In terms of the rest of the Western Conference, the Mavericks and Nuggets are tied. I guess you probably would expect that. They're pretty similar in terms of talent. The Clippers have just destroyed the Jazz, so they've gone through. And the Timberwolves are looking like they're going to upset the Warriors with 3-1 up there. And on the Eastern Conference side, the Heat are through. That's neck and neck with the 76ers and Wizards. Again, similar to the Mavericks, Nuggets, you kind of would expect that. Similar talents. The Nets have just completely destroyed the LeBron James Cavaliers 4-0, which is crazy. And the Pacers have completely destroyed the Pistons. So there's a couple of games already decided over there. The 76ers and Wizards are up here. The Wizards have taken that one, so they're 3-2 up now at this point. And we are ready for our deciding game here. We are 3-1 up. We're not going to change anything. No injuries, which is good. We're going to do a quick save here in case we get crashes as usual. And we're going to watch this game. So we are up against obviously the Trailblazers. 3-1 up in the series. We are back at home. So hopefully we can get this job done at home and move on to the second round. So we've got obviously Damon Stoudemire against Steve Nash. You kind of would expect Steve Nash to win that matchup most of the time. Joe Johnson and Derek Anderson are probably quite similar in ability. So that's probably neck and neck. Richardson's going to have a tough time against Sharif Abdur-Rahim. Tough one there. Randolph Marion is really the main matchup here. If whoever wins that one will probably decide the game, to be honest. And then we've got to hope that Stoudemire turns up and just completely kills Miles. Interesting, they're running pretty much a small ball offense style, similar to what we are really, in a sense. But Miles playing in a centre is a strange one. You'd expect Stoudemire to have the advantage over in that one. But yeah, let's tip off and see how we get on. So we've taken out a 5-0 lead there to begin with in this first quarter. I'm hoping if we can get just performances out of our main guys, this should be comfortable. It should be a bread and butter win for us. But we'll certainly see how it goes. We take a little bit of a lead here in the first quarter. Yeah, we're managing to limit them. Look to that to terrible field goal percentage at the moment. If we can keep that up, this game will be over by the second half. But yeah, I'm sure they'll come back into it. But Randolph 1 of 6 is, if you can keep that up, that's great. Marion's holding him down, which is good. And it looks like we've taken a bit of a nice little lead here in the first quarter. Mainly due to their inability to get anything going on offense, to be honest with you, and having a couple of turnovers now. Our offense has been ticking along okay. Looking okay. It's looking okay. Joe Johnson's having a pretty good game, 4 of 4, 12 points so far. As we get into the mid-second quarter here, we're pretty comfortable at this stage. It looks like we are in good position. Hopefully we can just keep that going. Maybe if we can get our starters a bit of a rest, if there is a possibility of that would be good as well, just so we don't get any injuries. And if we can win this game here, it gives us a bit of a few days breather before we go up against either the Nuggets or the Denver Nuggets or the Dallas Mavericks. So we end the half really holding them to terrible shooting numbers. So we put up 58 to their 32. Metta World Peace has been good off the bench. Stoudemire has turned up. As I said, Miles is a massive matchup problem for the Portland Trailblazers. So I'm surprised. I mean, if I was playing this Suns team as the Trailblazers, I probably would have put Randolph in at centre and then just positioned everyone around that. But it means that Stoudemire can basically, 6 blocks, 7 rebounds, 10 points. He can basically do what he likes in there. He can manhandle Miles, I think. But yeah, a good half for us. Hopefully we can just keep that going and get this win nice and early without any stress in this first round. Steve Nash having a pretty poor shooting night though, 4 of 15. Not sure why that is. Guessing he's having to put up a couple of shots that he didn't necessarily want to do. But Stoudemire's looking pretty good. Johnson's having a good game with 17 points as well. As we keep this lead well within 20 points. Our shooting numbers haven't been great actually. 5 of 16 from downtown, which is below our average for the season. But you know, when the Trailblazers are shooting only 33%, it doesn't really matter what you do at that stage because you know, anything your normal team's going to do if it's below average is going to be better than that. So we keep the gap here at 20 odd points or so. Metawell Peace having a good game for the bench again. Stoudemire is now on a double-double. He's got 16 rebounds as we go into the fourth quarter here. We'll probably slow down the last couple of minutes and just watch. I think this one's comfortable though, guys. I don't think we're going to walk out of here with a loss. We managed to win this one at home. Randolph 5 of 22. That's probably been a bit of a deciding factor. We will slow it down a little bit here, and just watch some of the play action because we haven't actually slowed down a lot of the 2D yet actually in this this Let's Play series. So we will do it now we're in the playoffs. Just so you guys can kind of see a little bit of it. Hasn't changed too much between 20 and 21. I think that excuse me. I think the big thing is that there's changes the pop-up of milestones. Just the layout is a lot cleaner. And I really like this because it just gives you, if you're watching it on the screen here, it gives you a bit of a narrative of, you know, what's that player doing? He's just had a shot, you know, or he's just had a rebound. How does that look now on his numbers? So it gives you a feel for, like, if you know the players, you know, look, Stoudemire 12 points, 18 rebounds. I mean, that gives you a sense of how good he's been this year. He's now got 20 rebounds in this game, and this one looks like it's going to be a comfortable win for us. You know, up by quite a considerable margin now. Surprised the bench hasn't come in though, actually, for us. But yeah, I mean, in terms of the layout, I quite like this. It's quite clean. You can see the detail down here now, which is nice because you don't always necessarily used to catch it when it was on here. So when you get into like some of the final minutes of key games, you can see what's really happening because it kind of does ping up here now. But yeah, so looks like comfortable for us. 3 minutes left. We've got the more or less the starting lineup in minus Joe Johnson at this stage. But yeah, Portland need a bit of a miracle here to bring this one back. I think they're well and truly going out the playoffs in the first round, which was probably expected. If you're a 40-42 team and you make the 8th seed, you know you do need a bit of a miracle to get a performance against us. But yeah, 2 minutes left here in the game itself. Stoudemire's had a pretty good game actually for them, but Metawell Peace with 21 points, Nash with 19 and 10 assists, Stoudemire with 12 and 20 in terms of rebounds and shots. So we've had guys just, you know, whilst we haven't really had anyone sort of do everything, we've had enough of everyone doing a bit of everything from that sense. A couple of guys with double digits, you know, taking on the rebounds or the assist numbers as we go into the last minute here or so. Starting lineup is still in, so you know, just not lying down at this stage. Marion puts up that shot, and they managed to put a 3-pointer in. But now, yeah, this game's over. Pretty much, we're going to run probably some of this clock down. 37 seconds or so left. We give a turnover up, and he drives in, misses it. Rebound by Stoudemire. 21 rebounds from him, so a good performance from him actually, doing a bit of the dirty work for us. Not too worried about getting the top scorer for us. And there we go, that ends the game. And we win by quite a considerable margin in the end. Stoudemire with player of the game, I mean, not surprised. He almost had a quadruple double. Look at that, 12 points, 9 assists, 21 rebounds and 8 blocks. That would have been awesome. I've never seen a quadruple sort of double digits thing here. So cool to see that. Marion had 10 rebounds as well. Nash had 10 assists. Pretty comfortable in the end for us there to get through this this first round. So that's good. It's good to see. Didn't have the banana peel slip up on us, as they say. But looking at the rest of the playoffs, the Nuggets are 3-2 up against the Mavs. The Wizards are 3-2 up against the 76ers, and all the other games have been decided, actually, apart from the Warriors and Timberwolves. So we're going to just get through that. So Wizards, 76ers. Can the 76ers pull it back? No, they can't. So the 76ers and Allen Iverson are now out of the playoffs. We move to the Western Conference now. Can the Nuggets or the Timberwolves get over and get into the second round here? Let's take a look. No, so both of them are going down to 7 games. My God. So who's going to go through? So it looks like the Mavericks have pulled out the win there, and the Warriors came back from, I think they were 3-1 down in that series to win 4-3. So the Timberwolves put up a fight, but they just fell away in the end. So we are going to be playing the Dallas Mavericks in the next episode of this Let's Play in the second round of the playoffs. Can we get ourselves through against the Dirk Nowitzki Dallas Mavericks? It's going to be a tough matchup, but it's going to be a fun one to watch.